It's John Drew, the captain of this elevated planet ship, and Jole Gabrielle, the GPS that's going to help us to elevate the planet and heal ourselves. And we are here today on our live YouTube. And so I'm going to let John take it away and tell you a little bit more about what we're doing today.
Yeah, thank you very much. And once again, I'll just give me a second here to go through my little bit of jiggery pokery, get the right bit lined up here so I can see our community coming through. I know that my baby girl over in Los Angeles is watching. So hi, Stephanie. I hope all is well over there. And to the rest of you who are going to be joining us today, I hope that we give you a show worthy of an hour of your Sunday. First thing I wanted to just mention was the last week. We had a few comments about last week. People were watching the Gary Wimmer interview that we showed 20 minutes of, and there was a number of comments about that and how it was uplifting. But then there was the other video, the NDA video as well, which showed a bit more of an apocalyptic view of what was, foreseen for the future. And Dennis certainly came back from, and he was based in New York. And Dennis, love you to bits, Dennis, but he says it was a very scary vision that was gone through in that NDE. And it was interesting as well because that was the one which aligned with my dream that I'd had. The dream I had, and I don't know why, but I was in New York. The whole thing was in New York. Dennis, unfortunately for Dennis, he lives in New York. So if my dream comes true, what I was seeing was an apocalyptic version of New York. But the good news is my dream wasn't a bad dream. It was actually a hopeful dream, but it was just living amongst chaos. Anyway, and Eva said it was amazing. I feel we should not fear the future, just embrace it. We are the lucky ones. And she found it empowering. So it just shows we've got all sorts of comments going on. And I love the fact that we've got community feedback going on. That's great. Keep it coming. So one of the things that was very obvious was that there's still so many points to talk about from that Gary Wimmer NDE, where he got hit by the speeding car. And as he says it in his book here, a second in eternity. And it's about his story of what happened to him and how it is an amazing story. I love that story, but there's still so much to go through. Now, the announcement for today, the most interesting announcement in the world that I promised you is we are going to have Gary on the show. We're going to have Gary with us towards the end of August. I'm hopeful that he will be able to join us live and we will be able to look deeper under the surface and to ask questions. So one of the things I will do when I send the weekly out tomorrow is that it will have a link to that video on there. So the link sits within last week's weekly video that went out on the weekly. So it's all there anyway, plus a little bit of conjecture before and after. But you can also just watch the video itself. So that's a choice you've got. I'm really excited about that. He's going to be dialing in all the way from Austin, Texas, joining us here on the screen. And I'm really excited about that. And I write a lot more about that for the weekly tomorrow. So please take a look at that tomorrow and see what you think. For today, one of the things we're going to focus on in the near term is a lady called Anita Moorjani. Now, I did introduce Anita to you on edition 41, and some of you will already be familiar with who Anita is and what she's been through. And like last week, we're just going to show you around 20 minutes of what is in fact a 1 hour, 18-minute video. It's a long video and it's a great interview and it really digs under the surface, and Anita is able to share a lot. So what I would suggest is that if you want to look deeper into this, once again, on the weekly, I will put a link to the entire video for you. And what I thought I would do is, this is a little section of the newsletter that went out back in early June. So I'm just going to give you the backstory from edition 41, literally going to just read it because this encapsulates the important bit, because Anita doesn't go into this too much during this specific interview, but it's really worthwhile knowing just how ill she was back in 2006. So as you'll recall, we had Andy Petro. We did a lot of stuff with Andy Petro and his NDE experience going back to April, May time. Much like Andy Petro, Anita died. She slipped into a coma from which she was never expected to return. The doctors knew she was in her final hours. After a 4-year struggle, she had end-stage lymphoma. She was riddled with tumors throughout her body, many the size of lemons. They were on the base of her skull, her neck, her chest, under her arms, all the way to her abdomen. Her muscles had deteriorated to the point where she weighed just 85 pounds. Anita had gaping skin lesions where the toxins were oozing from her body. She was unable to digest food. She was unable to breathe without the aid of oxygen. By the 2nd of February 2006, her vital organs were failing and she slipped into that final coma from which she was never expected to return. But what came next defied medical science. Instead of slipping away, Anita emerged from her coma and confidently informed her family that she was going to be fine. 5 days later, her tumors had shrunk by 70%. And after 5 weeks, Anita was released from the hospital completely cancer-free without any further treatment. Now, we're talking about healing. We're talking about miraculous, unexplainable from a scientific medical perspective, something that happens. And this is not a, this has happened a multitude of times around the planet. It doesn't fit with medical science as we understand it to be. So often this stuff gets dismissed as just something bizarre. Anyway, Anita, since that, Anita has been, she's written books. She's a wonderful person. You can just get her energy. I mean, you just judge for yourself when you watch this clip, which I'm going to play for you very shortly. Judge for yourself. Do you feel integrity from it? Do you feel truth from it? Because we all have to judge this for ourselves. Everybody is totally entitled to their own individuated experience through this lifetime. So whatever is right for you is right for you. But, you know, I think with Anita, to me, integrity and truth is really what she's about. She's just trying to help people to understand the bigger picture, what this is really all about.
So my coming back gave me a purpose in life that I never had before, because being on the other side, at first I didn't want to come back, but being on the other side, I felt so powerful and so liberated and so free and so loved. But I knew that what I was about to do next was very much needed here, and therefore it would be best if I came back. But when I crossed over, what I learned was religion is human created. And religion was created here to help people to understand the other side, but has been created by different cultures in different regions of the world, in different languages. So there's a lot of room for a lot of misinterpretation. You have had multiple lives. When we're on the other side, because time is not linear, you see all the lives simultaneously. You've had multiple lives, and this particular life is one of multiple lives that fits into this tapestry, this whole of the collective of all your lives. And you chose these circumstances because in some way it serves the evolution of you as a whole.
Anita Moorjani, welcome on the show. What are you most excited about right now in your life?
In my life, what I'm most excited about, oh God, there's so many things. It's hard to narrow it down. Every day feels like it brings new opportunities. I'm just excited about continuing to share my message in whatever way I can, because I just want to impact people and just help make the world a kinder, nicer place. And I just love doing that, and it excites me to do that. And I like to bring joy to people because I have to be in a space of joy myself to do that.
I love that so much. And diving right into it, in February 2006, you died.
Yeah.
And you are a master at choice, because I think the biggest choice that we will ever receive in our life is, do you want to stay or do you want to exit this realm? And you are given that choice. And it's beautiful because learning your story has truly empowered me to realize the potential and the infinite potentials we have through our own choice. You were on the other side and you were basically given the choice of, should I receive a message from my test results that are going to say death due to organ failure, or are my test results going to say organs are functioning again? And just as that little choice shifted a timeline, you came back, of course, obviously. I wanted to ask you, right now, it almost seems like we're at a precipice of a collective choice, that humanity is really at this precipice of an awakening moment where we could either go one direction or the other. I would love to hear your perspective on the collective choice that humanity is facing right now, into this new phase that we're heading into.
So my perspective is that in fact, it's been somewhat heartening to see the number of people who are becoming more aware and awake that they have choices, that they can actually create a different life, a better life. And it's heartening to see young people like yourself determined to be out there in the front lines and talk about these things, because the reason I came back is because it felt as though, and this is what it felt like to me, it felt as though the world needed my message and I had to come back and share it. So my coming back gave me a purpose in life that I never had before, because being on the other side, at first I didn't want to come back, but being on the other side, I felt so powerful and so liberated and so free and so loved. It's like, and my body here, my physical body, was suffering and dying, and it was ridden with cancer cells. Who would want to come back into such a body? But I realized that knowing what I now know from being there and understanding who I really am and the power I have within me, that if I chose to come back, I would have a very important mission. And I didn't know how it was going to unfold or how to go about doing it. But I knew that what I was about to do next was very much needed here. And therefore, it would be best if I came back. So it felt like I was pushed or encouraged to come back for that reason. And I knew that knowing what I knew now, that my body would heal very, very quickly. So what I'm feeling about this precipice that we're on right now is that it's really heartening, because recently I've noticed an opening where more and more people are so open and ready for my message. Not only are they open and ready, they're hungry for it. When I first came back then in 2006, people were not that open. It was very, very challenging, very challenging. But it's changed over the years. In the beginning, there were more people that were trying to take away the gift that I received, the gift of healing, the gift of that experience. People who were debunking it and knocking me. There was a lot more of that. People who wanted to call me a fraud. Today, it's the opposite. And that's very heartening.
And you even mentioned one of the lessons that your mentor, Wayne Dyer, told you around that when your message gets broader, the more the skeptics will come in. And that just means you're breaking into sort of a new dimension of awakening for people. How do you see that in the sense of, what are those messages that are no longer receiving that sort of feedback, and what are people more open to right now? What exactly is that?
People are more open to the fact that there is more than just this physical realm, and that there are other ways to heal so-called terminal illnesses. People are not treating, for want of a better way of saying it, like medical doctors as gods anymore, as they did back when I went through this. They used to treat anybody in a white coat as gods, and people would just sit back and take all the pharmaceuticals that, that they were given. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. There are a lot of occasions when we do need to see a doctor and we do need to take pharmaceuticals. But in the era that I grew up in and when I dealt with cancer, it was literally taboo not to. If you did not follow a doctor's orders, and if you felt you had a different or better way of doing things, you were chastised, laughed at, or told that you were crazy, that you're going to die. Like it was really bad, really bad. So that's the biggest change I'm seeing, because there's a lot more opposition against that way of thinking today, just as much as there were debunkers then against anybody who did anything outside of mainstream medicine and taking pharma. Today, there are as many people on the other side of the camp advocating for the other side. And that's
a tipping point.
The tipping point. And that's what's made it easier. It's still not mainstream to do anything outside of big pharma and the big medical model, but it's a lot easier, and it's a lot easier to talk about it today than it was then.
And when you were first diagnosed with lymphoma, you also, but even back then, you were already rebelling against those mainstream ideas, just as you did with your family's cultural beliefs, your father's beliefs. So you went to India, and you were doing Ayurveda, you were doing naturopathic healing, even from that time. And a lot of people alone heal from these modalities,
Yes.
Just by themselves. And for some reason, the cancer got worse after. For a little while, it got better, and then it got worse. And I wanted to ask you, there was something there to do with the emotion of fear.
Yes.
That didn't allow for, the natural way of healing to take place. And what have you learned about fear? What can we learn about fear from you?
So I learned that fear is actually the greater illness, or the greater problem we face in our world, more so than physical illness. For me, I really realized that the fear of cancer was worse than the cancer itself. And so when I was doing the Ayurveda, I was in an environment where everybody believed in this way of doing things. And so I was told, this is the way you balance your body. And when your body is balanced, there's no room for illness. And as I was being told, and I was being taught yoga moves, and I was changing my diet, and I was doing different things. I was taking Ayurvedic supplements, herbal remedies, and I saw my body healing and getting stronger, and the lymph nodes, the swellings going down. I saw all that happening before my very eyes over the weeks and months. And then and so I was in India, but we lived in Hong Kong at that time. And at some point, I had to go back home to Hong Kong, because that's where my husband lived, although he was coming out to visit me in India regularly. But his work was in Hong Kong, and my dog was in Hong Kong. Our home was in Hong Kong. So I had to fly back to Hong Kong to go home. And I thought, okay, I've got this now. I know how to live my life. And I purchased all the Ayurvedic remedies that I knew I would need. I would get up in the morning, even when I was back home, and get up and do my yoga postures. And I changed my diet accordingly, and even back home in Hong Kong. But this is what I didn't count on. I didn't count on being in what I call a different marinade. One marinade I was in India supported that way of thinking. It's the group mind. It's the hive thinking. It supported it. Everybody was encouraging me. It's the environment. It's what we're immersed in. When I was in Hong Kong, it was very different. All the people around me were like, so what did you do? Oh my God, you did Ayurveda. That's crazy. That's not real medicine. Did you see an actual doctor? Did you get the scans done? You're going to die if you don't do this. You're not being realistic. It's all that mind stuff that goes into your mind. Very different marinade. And so I don't know why I call it a marinade, but yes, very different culture, very different environment. And then it started to creep on me. What if it was all crazy making stuff? What if it was my imagination? What if the cancer really is growing? And it's all the what ifs. And so then in that fear, I started to notice that my body started to deteriorate. And then I go to the doctor, and sure enough, they dig around and find something. And then I fell into that whole paradigm where I was in so much fear. And I'll tell you, it was a bigger fear than if someone just went to the Western medical model first and the doctor said, okay, we got this, let's do the chemo, let's do. For me, it was being proven wrong about, I didn't realize at the time, it's because you're now being brainwashed and it's your mind that's doing this. I didn't realize that. For me, it was like, oh my God, they were right. The Ayurveda didn't work. I'm wrong. Cancer is a death sentence. I watched chemo kill 2 people. It's going to do that to me. It was a really huge fear, and that fear continued to surmount and to really kill me.
And at the end of the day, there's almost 2 versions, and you call it, we're either in 3 worlds. We're either in the soul world, the soul realm.
Yes.
We're in the fear realm, or we're in this realm where fear doesn't exist.
Yes.
So how do you differentiate between those 3 realms that we could be in at a time?
Okay, so one realm is immersed in this physical, thinking there's nothing more than this physical, and being driven by fear. This is, if you are somebody that doesn't believe in the other realm, and you're someone that depends on pharmaceuticals, and you watch TV all the time, and you watch mainstream media, mainstream news, who are constantly feeding us fear all the time. Because what happens is when all your messages are fear-based messages, and you live in what I call the fear realm. And let me break this down a little further. So for example, instead of thinking in terms of my body is a temple, I'm going to keep it healthy, instead, what we do is we think in terms of when I'm sick, I go and get drugs. I go to the doctor so the doctor can tell me what's wrong with me and give me drugs. It's never about, I love my life, so I want to stay healthy so I can live long. No, it's like you go to the doctor to eradicate illness. You don't do a wellness protocol. You actually do an illness protocol. And so that's one thing. The other thing is, like when we go after jobs and things like that, do we take the work that makes us feel passionate, that we're passionate about, that we feel will enhance us, or do we take the work that we because we think, oh, a better job won't come along, I'm afraid of not having the money, lack. So it's from scarcity. We take the job from a place of scarcity. We go to the doctor from a place of fear of ill health instead of a love or a respect of good health. And this is the thing, our whole medical paradigm is based on a fear of dying, a fear of ill health. We watch TV, we watch the news, and all we get is bad news. And when we're told, say as an example, when you're told you have to fear this thing that's going to happen next, whatever it is, this thing is going to happen next, and everybody is being told this is going to happen, this is going to happen, you're going to get this disease, you're going to get this disease, and everybody's being told that. What that does is that fear itself breaks down your immune system, and you're more likely to get the disease. So in other words, what they're warning you against, that feeding of fear, is actually contributing towards manifesting it. So it's doing the opposite. Our healthcare system is actually a sickness scare system. It's not actually a healthcare. It makes you fear illness instead of teaching you how to expand wellness. So basically what I'm trying to say is we live in this fear-based world. So that's one world. Then there is this other world that I visited when I crossed over. And that is a very different world, a very, very different world. It's one of pure love. Fear doesn't exist. You realize that, oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to live this life of fear. I can live in a world that's kinder and more loving and all of these things. Because what does fear do? Fear puts people into survival mode. And when they're in survival mode, they're less kind. They have less time for other people. They're more greedy because they're hoarding because they're in survival. So it brings out the worst in us. Fear brings out the worst in us if you're in it perpetually, because you're in fight or flight all the time. So when I was on the other side, I realized we're not supposed to be in this fear-based mode all the time. That's not why we came here. That's the message I want people to really know. And so I come here and share my message for that reason. But the real way that I learned to live is what I call having one foot on each side. And that's the third way. We can't be here in the physical and be completely immersed there, because you have a physical body. Over there, you don't. You have to take care of your physical body. You have relationships with people. Over there, it's very different. When you're all spiritual beings, you all know what each other are thinking without having to speak it. You don't have to worry about relationships and falling out with people. That doesn't happen. That happens here. So you cannot be fully immersed in spirituality when you're here. You have to live in the real world. You do have to work. You do have to pay your bills. You do have to eat food. But at the same time, you don't have to live in perpetual fear. You need to know that you can connect with that world. You can connect with your own soul, and your soul knows the life that you came here to live. Your soul knows your intention. Your soul knows why you chose to come here. Why did you choose to come here in this space and time and be born to the people that you're born with and be living in this society? Your soul knows that. You can tap into your soul and find that out. And the information you get from your soul is much deeper and much more uplifting than anything you'll get on mainstream media.
Right, we're back. I love that message. I mean, Jole, what do you think?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic and spot on. Anita Moorjani is truly an angel, and I think she has a lot of gifts to share with us.
Yeah, I would agree. And as I said before, I will put a link onto the full video on the weekly tomorrow. So for anybody who wants to go beyond the 20 minutes or so that we've just seen, then it really is quite fascinating. And you know, she talked a lot about this letting go of fear to strengthen your immune system. And you know, we manifest ill health through fear and survival mode. And I've heard that from so many quarters, so many. I mean, literally as many people that I have read or watched or listened to. It's, you know, from a spirituality perspective, I don't think there's anybody that would disagree with that for a moment.
I absolutely agree. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And I know that's what we're going to do the meditation on as well. It's she
Exactly.
mentioned about having one foot on each side, the balance that we need in this, because it's not, you know, you can overdo the spirituality side of things. We are living in the world. We have physical bodies. We do have to, as you say, pay the bills. We do have to pay attention to the things that make us physical. But just knowing the spiritual side of things, which is where we came from and to where we return, and it's a beautiful place. There's no density. It's just, you know, it's just joyous. So that's why, to an extent, when I've done my dead happy stuff, I just honestly believe that the death process is the most transcendent and beautiful experience you will ever have in your life, which is why I offer a money back guarantee with that every time. But that, I believe, and you know, it was interesting towards the end of the interview, one of the points, questions that Emilio asks is about creating your own heaven on earth. And three things, he asked Anita, what would be your three things to create heaven on earth? Number one, she said, was laughter. She said, surround yourself with people who can make you laugh, who raise that frequency, to raise it to joy. And because this is why we're here. We're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy ourselves. That was the point she was making with number one. Number two, make choices from a place of love rather than from fear. Again, 100%. Too many of us, we're encouraged to be living in fear. It's the news, it's the media, it's death and destruction and disease. And what's the next thing that's coming down towards you? I mean, seriously, this is kind of how we're living life at the moment in this kind of matrix, and this is where things are changing. I believe where things are truly breaking out. So that was number 2. The third thing that she said, which was to create your own heaven on earth, was chocolate. So we now know what Anita's soft spot is there. But it is beautiful. It is worth seeing, and it's, if you fancy seeing the rest of that interview, you will have the link to see that tomorrow. And so, Jole, we were talking about like the meditation side of things now, and sort of like moving towards that. And I know that when there's fear, and fear sits within the body, where does it sit? I mean, think about this chakra system. You've got your crown chakra all the way down to your root. You've got your heart. Where does the fear sit?
One of the ways to recognize the fear is, where's the pain? That's an easy thing to notice. Nevertheless, we know we're out of balance and we're in a state of fear emanating from our root chakra, which is red. So today, Anita spoke about something which was beautiful, and you mentioned it, which is having your foot in both worlds, or both universes, both lives, whatever, the spiritual as well as the physical. So in terms of today's meditation, what I'd like to do is really teach us the building blocks, the pattern to build on, so that we can move out fear. We're going to use a little bit of color and symbolism, which helps us to kind of mobilize our immune system to move out the intangible stress that our body takes on throughout our worry, doubt, and fear. Because fear, what is fear? Anxiety, depression, sadness, all of these things are fear. Anything that is moving us away from love is based in fear. You can put any other label on it that you want. Negativity, fear. It's just hatred, fear. All of it goes back to fear. So at the end of the day, what I'd like to take us through is a meditation focusing on moving out fear and moving in our purpose, and especially love, love, because love is the only thing that has the ability to transform. But the reason why we have fear is also based on what Anita said, which was society is pumping into us inadequacy, scarcity, victimhood. But if we were to push that aside and really work on what is in us purely, that would not be. So let's kind of learn how to move that out and move in, like she said, more of ourselves so that we can expand wellness. Okay?
That's
so are you
great.
ready to begin?
Yes. And one of the things, just very quickly, I know this thing, one of the things that I've noticed before, and I know you do this, is that when you're doing meditations, you do use a lot of hand kind of movements and
Correct.
pulling of energy, because, we have this energetic body. Therefore, if fear is an energy that sits within you, the visualization process is important, but also
Correct. John, thank you for bringing that up, because even though this is intangible energy, it is definitely visceral in the sense, as I said in the beginning, pain is sitting in the body. And in my studies, I've learned when you have childhood trauma, that sits in the thighs. Mm-hmm. So a lot of women who are experiencing that, thighs, when there's creative blocks, you're having problems with your arms, having problems manifesting those legs, you're usually going to have an issue with your hamstrings, your quads, your gastros. So these are the things that we can use our hands, which are chakras, to pull this energy out. And the universal symbol for transforming negative energy into positive energy are roses. So through this meditation, I'll teach us how to use roses, our hand chakras, and gold light to move out the fear and to move into love and the purpose.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, without further ado, then I am going to switch myself. We're going to switch to our view. Right. I'm going to leave you to it and look forward to chilling along with everybody else. Thank you.
Okay. As always, I'd like for you to please put your feet flat on the floor, your palms face up. You can either be sitting in a comfortable position in a chair or laying down during this meditation. But for those of you laying down, please keep your feet flat on the floor for the beginning part of the meditation. And now we're going to bring our awareness to our breath. And I'd like you to just breathe with the rhythm of your body. Take a moment to just catch how your body breathes and bring it into a rhythm that will allow your body to relax. Make your breath a little bit deeper than normal in order to begin to regulate it. And once you catch that rhythm, I want you to bring your awareness into your chest or your heart chakra, your anahata. And I want you to command, because it is your body, for your heartbeat to sync up with your breath. So you just say, heart, I command you, I would like for you to sync up with my breath. And now connect with your aura layer, which is 1.5 feet around you. Bring that in. Make sure you're sitting inside of it, completely in the center. Remember, we're working with this soul architecture. We're going to call our higher self back above us at a comfortable distance above our head. And from the heart chakra, we're going to ground our energy into Mother Earth. As we breathe with the rhythm of our body, we create, visualize, and imagine a beautiful portal or grounding cord, 6 inches in diameter, connected to the heart as it moves down the center of our body, much like our spine. And this is all energy. So as it moves down through the body and through the chair or the bed or whatever you're sitting in, through the floor, keep the visual clear, through the concrete, through the dirt. As it moves through the crust of Mother Earth, it keeps its shape, and it is of a natural earth element. It could be a tunnel of water, a beam of light, a rope, a tree trunk. It could be a quartz crystal. It could be a cave, but make whatever it is from Mother Earth as it's moving through the lithosphere. That Marianas Trench, it's moving down, 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 down to the asthenosphere, and now it roots itself into Mother Earth, growing these beautiful roots that can take in her nurturing energy, listening and adhering to the vibrations and the positive energy from Mother Earth. Give her gratitude, tell her thank you, and as always, ask her if there's anything you can do for her. And go out and plant a tree, plant a garden, and volunteer your energy to make her a beautiful place. Clean her up. Now bring your awareness back into your heart chakra. As you call in golden rose-shaped cleaning utensils to clean off your grounding cord, blanketing the inside and the outside of your grounding cord with these beautiful golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles, which are taking out or off, cleaning off any dis-ease, any illness, any fear, any doubt, any worry, anybody else's energy, anything you are ready to let go of and release. Allow for this energy of these golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles to clean it off. Get that visualization clear. If you cannot see, you can feel or you can hear. We have one of these 3 visceral kinesiology reactions. So go ahead and focus in. Remove the doubt, remove the fear, and sit in the fact of your visualization, your imagination at this moment. And as these golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles are cleaning off your grounding cord all the way down to the little hairs on the roots, bring your awareness back into the heart chakra. and build a golden staircase from the heart all the way up to the center of the head. Where's the center of the head? If you were to draw a line from the top of your ear to the other ear, and from between your brow to the same spot in the back of your head, where those two lines meet is the center of your head. I want you to sit inside of here and command for your brow, your third eye, your sixth chakra to open like the lens of a camera. And outside of your aura, 5 feet away from you, to the right and to the left of you, I want you to see, imagine, create rows, 2 roses, one to the right, one to the left, 5 feet away outside your aura. The rose symbolizes the transmutation of negative energy or fear into positive energy or love. And so now I want you to open your hand chakras like you would the lens of a camera. Imagine them opening. And I want you to begin to pull out any fear, any energy from the center of your head and move it out into these roses outside your aura. Move out anybody else's energy, any doubt, any worry. Remove it out and put it into that rose outside your aura. Okay? Feel it. You can feel it. It's very visceral. And you say, what do you see? Do you see words? Do you see people? Do you see experiences? Pull them out, put them into that rose outside your aura layer. Just follow along. I understand this is different, but just move that energy out. And if you feel it in the crown, you can go into the crown and move that energy out from up above the crown and into that rose outside your aura layer. All right, so this is the exercise. And now I want you to bring your awareness back into the center of your head. You can continue to move that energy outside your aura, no problem. But I'm going to gently remind you, as you're breathing with the rhythm of your body and your heartbeat is synced to your breath, that you have a grounding cord of a natural earth element that is 6 inches in diameter, connected to the anahata, the heart chakra, as it moves throughout your body down into Mother Earth. It is 6 inches in diameter all the way down through the crust, through the lithosphere, through the asthenosphere, as it roots itself into the core of Mother Earth. And these golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles are scrubbing off any disease, any illness, any fear, any doubt, anyone else's energy, as your hand chakras are moving out the same. Any doubt, any fear, any worry into those roses outside your aura that are ready to transmute this negative energy into positive, creative life force energy for anyone to use. Keep moving it out. Keep moving that fear out of that brow chakra, out of the center of the head, out of the mind, as you let those golden rose-shaped cleaning, scrubbing bubbles, cleaning utensils, however you see them, clean off any of that fear, that disease, and that illness from that grounding cord, starting with that heart, moving all the way down into that solar plexus, into that sacral chakra, into that root, all the way down that grounding cord into Mother Earth, marinating, as Anita Moorjani would say, with love, loving vibrations, moving out disease, fear, and illness, pulling it out the center of your head, moving it out of the heart and out of the body and out of the grounding cord, grounding you into Mother Earth, into your own energy, aligning you with your own self-love, your own creativity, your own positive manifestation. Move out the fear, move out the doubt, move out the worry. Allow for those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles to clean off anybody else's energy, any of the fear, any of the doubt. Double whammy, man. Move it out of the heart, move it out of the lower chakras, and move it out of the center of the head into those roses outside your aura. Just pull it out. Don't worry about it. Just pull it out. Move it out, move it out, move it out, move it out. Move it out of the body. And now, as you take a deep breath in and you connect with your heartbeat and you get back in rhythm, I want you to go ahead and bring your awareness to your grounding cord and allow for those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles to fall away into the core of Mother Earth, turning into positive creative life force energy for anyone to use. Golden sun above your head, I want you to open the crown like you would the lens of a camera. Bring that golden sun down that pipeline. You're allowing it to expand into the cranium, filling up all of that you moved out with this new gold light, creativity, manifestation, self-love, forgiveness, miracles and possibilities as it focuses and it starts to move down that spine, lighting up each vertebrae as it goes down with love and joy, filling up that heart chakra on its way down. As it then begins to focus down that pipeline of the grounding cord, bringing you into the present moment. Let's follow this visualization all the way from the heart, all the way down through the solar plexus, through the sacral, through the root chakra. As it goes down that grounding cord, you see it go down through the crust, through the lithosphere, through the asthenosphere, and it goes down those roots and any excess into Mother Earth. Beautiful. And now we're going to open our feet chakras like we would the lens of a camera. We're going to call in 15% earth energy from Mother Earth of a color that resonates with you. Is it green for healing? Blue for calming? Is it red for action? Is it yellow for productivity? Green for love? Pink for unconditional love and forgiveness? Whatever it is, bring it in. Is it all of those colors for joy and amusement? Bring up those psychedelic colors up the side channels of your legs, bringing in that joy, bringing in that laughter that Anita talks about. And then allow for that cosmic gold life force energy, generate, create, imagine, visualize this beautiful golden waves coming down through your higher self and into the crown, as it once again fills up your cranium and your brain and the center of your head, your eyelashes, your eyebrows, your forehead, your ears, your hair, your follicles, your teeth, your cheeks, your chin, as it focuses itself down that spine, lighting up each vertebra on its way down. As it begins to hit that heart, it hits the throat, a little bit of it bifurcates, separates, goes down into those hands. As that essence moves down, 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 mixes in with the earth energy in the first chakra and begins to fill you up like water fills up a cup, pumping, 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 pooling in your feet as it moves up the ankles, moves up the calves, moves up into those knees, moves into the femur, the thighs, the hips, moving out any fear, moving out any dis-ease down that grounding cord. See it, work it out. There's stuff coming in, stuff going out, moving out, sprouting out into the aura layer, moving up your body, filling up that heart chakra, moving into the loving energy, turning all those blood cells into beautiful heart shape, moving that love throughout the entire body as it moves up, 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 sprouting out your feet, hands, and crown chakras, moving out any past lives, any pictures, any programs, any vows, any contracts, any agreements you may have made, any plane on any level to be depressed, sad, to be fearful, move it out of your body. Move it out down the grounding cord into those roses outside your aura. Allow for that stuff to melt away as that beautiful gold light mixed in with that 15% earth energy cascades throughout your body and your aura layer, moving out fear, moving out dis-ease, moving out illness, moving out drama, moving in positive life force energy, creativity, manifestation, interconnection, positive relationships, love, forgiveness, compassion. See that, see those beautiful heart shapes blood cells move throughout your body. See that 15% earth energy and that 85% cosmic gold life force energy move throughout your body, your organs, your muscles, your ligaments, all of the systems of your body, moving throughout the heart, moving throughout the stomach, the kidney, the gallbladder, the spleen, the liver, the stomach, the colon, the reproductive organs, the nervous system, the immune system, all of the lymphatic system. Clean out those hormones, those chakras, clean out your throat chakra, move that negative energy into that rose outside your aura layer. Move it out, 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 move out lies, exaggeration. Move out any self-deprecating energy, move out any fear of life, of speaking your truth. Move it out into those roses outside your aura layer. Move it out. And move that gold energy into all the spaces and places that you're moving out this energy. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Reconnect with that heart chakra. And I'm just going to gently remind you that your heartbeat is synced up with your breath. Your aura layer is 1.5 feet around you. Your higher self is above you. Your astral body has snapped itself in. You are rooted and grounded into Mother Earth from a heart-centered space with a grounding core that is of a natural earth element, 6 inches in diameter, clean, clear, and filled with gold light. As you run that 15% earth energy of joy and amusement up the side channels of your legs, that 85% cosmic gold life force energy pouring in to your body as this begins to fill you up like water fills up a cup. Pumping, 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 sprouting out your feet, hands, and crown chakras, filling up your aura layers as you pull out and move out the fear into that roses outside your aura layer. As it goes down into Mother Earth, removing and resolving disease, illness, bringing in love, bringing in connection, bringing in positive manifestation. Take a deep breath in, exhale. And now, as this essence is working throughout all of your bodies and systems, as this loving blood is moving throughout your body, filling you up with loving vibrations, moving throughout that spine and sending it throughout your nervous system and sending those messages of love as they reverberate out into Mother Earth from your aura layer. We're going to do one last exercise. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And I want you to now turn all the residual fear that we have not moved out of the body, those little buggers that may be hiding, command for them to turn a bright red color and stand out. And now with these hand chakras and those roses outside your aura, you're going to pull that residual fear out of your body, mind, and your spirit. Wherever you feel it, don't make sure you get that spine and get that back, get those knees, get those areas of the body that feel pain, that feel disease, that feel illness. Move out anybody else's energy as this essence moves throughout your body. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and now it's time for us to move those roses that are outside our aura 5 feet away from us to the right and to the left. We're going to give them an energetic push 10 feet away. We're going to blow them up, put energetic dynamite underneath them, or however you blow things up in your mind, create, generate, or imagine. And this blowing up is a positive celebration, like fireworks. You're going to blow up this rose and turn it into positive creative life force energy for anyone to use. We're going to close our feet chakras and stop running energy. We're going to close our hand chakras. And we're going to close our crown and allow for that 85% cosmic gold to stop running. And remember, our higher self is sitting at a comfortable distance above our head. Our aura layer remains 1.5 feet around us, 18 inches to the right, to the left, to the front, to the back, top to bottom, sitting in it. Our astral body is snapped in, and we remain grounded and rooted into Mother Earth from a heart-centered space as these loving blood cells and vibrations continue to course throughout our body and our aura layer, sending love out into our environment and into the universe at large. Take a deep breath in. And one little thing I'd like to do is I'd like for you guys to, that ladder that we created from the heart to the center of the head, I'd like you to make sure it has resolved and dissolved itself as you bring your awareness back into the heart. Take another deep breath in, exhale, and you can open your eyes.
Back.
You're back.
Oh dear. You know, I just love that so much. It's like when I'm going, I just don't want it to end. I just want to keep going. It's just like, I just have this beautiful, relaxed feeling, but this buzzing sensation that goes on here is, I said a while ago that I kind of first time I ever felt that, I thought, wow, what's that, a brain tumor? But you kind of, after a while, it actually is a really beautiful feeling, and it's just buzzing. It's like around that third eye kind of area, and it's, I love it. But, you know, it's just so relaxing, and that was fantastic. Thank you, Jole.
Thank you for the honor. I'm so grateful to do this. And I just want everyone to know that the basics of really putting your soul architecture together are that grounding cord. And we'll work more with the fear, because I really didn't go into the first chakra, which is where fear sits. But the grounding cord was helping us move that energy throughout the body. Nevertheless, we will get to that. But I really am grateful to be able to do this. And thank you.
Well, I'm very grateful for you doing it. I feel pretty fearless now, so we're okay. I think you got there. I felt it moving out. I pulled it. I dragged it.
Yeah. Yes.
So it go.
Drag it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should always drag fear, you know?
Yes. Kicking and screaming. But yeah, I mean, just also to point out to the community that should anybody wish to have a consultation with Jole, she is available through our readers and healers, and she is amazing at what she does. I mean, these beautiful free meditations are fantastic. But if you want something very individualized, which, you know, a lot of people can benefit from that, honestly, you know, it's a very, very worthwhile venture. And you can get us through the website, elevatedplanet.life contact page, or you can contact me, John Drew, at elevatedplanet.life, and I will be your concierge service to make sure that we connect you up with Jole, and she can work her magic and help you get through whatever you need to get through. But it's that self-empowerment thing, right? It's about helping people realize just how magnificent they are. You don't need to be stuck in fear. You don't need to concern yourself with the woes of the world that are constantly forced upon you. They are not your burden to carry. Don't carry it. So if you can impact it, if you can work with it, if you can improve a situation, by all means, take it on. But if it's not your burden, if it's on the other side of the world, yeah, by all means, feel compassion and kindness towards the people who may be going through bad times. But this is not something that you should allow to drag you down, because you're here for your own individuated experience here in the earthly realm, and you're going to enjoy it. So thank you, Jole, for that meditation. It's beautiful. Thank you for your words of wisdom. And thank you to our community. Actually, one last thing I'm going to do just before. Yeah, we're okay. We're not missing any comments here, so we're all right. So, okay. Thank you all. Thank you for tuning in. And we look forward to be back with you next week, but also the weekly comes out tomorrow with the edited, easy on the eye version of this particular live video. And so you can watch it all over again. Dream come true. Thank you, Jole. Thank you all.
John.